Hi friends, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having a good day. Today I thought I would make this card here using the Lawn Fawn die set called Happy Mail. And I'm also going to be using the stamp set called Love Letters. Now these two products really pair well together, and I thought I would use them in both on today's card. And I'm going to be using some various pattern papers as well. So to start off, I'm going to be using a piece of watercolor cardstock from Tim Holtz. I went ahead and die cut the piece with the smallest stitched rectangle from Lawn Fawn to go ahead and get that already taken care of. And then all I'm doing here is using my distress ink. This is Mowed Lawn Distress Ink. I'm just mainly adding some color onto this panel, just getting the color down. No rhyme or reason. I'm not really going for any perfect blending or anything like that. For the grass, I'm going to have a die-cut grassy panel at the bottom here. So really all I want to do is just put the color down so it will reflect at the top of that die-cut and add to it a little bit. Then I'm going to go in with the Broken China Distress Ink and just add that to the top portion of my panel here to create my sky. And again, I'm not going for perfect blending or anything like that. I'm just trying to get some color down to this panel and kind of fading it off to the right or left side of the panel here. So I'm just kind of finishing that up and getting that all the way I want it. And I think I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take my distress sprayer. And I like doing this lately with especially when I use my distress inks, to use my distress sprayer and spray a little bit of the water on top of my panel. And what this does, it reacts with water and it kind of pulls up that ink, and then you can take a paper towel and then just wipe that over your cardstock panel, and it gives us this really nice distressed look to your cardstock panel. It adds to the overall look of the scene too, I think. So I have finished up with the inking, and now we're going to work on our little die cut here, die cut mailbox. And you just take the score lines and make them really good and scored there, accentuating those score lines, and just fold it up like you see here. Now if you want an in-depth look into how this comes together, I really recommend you visiting the Lawn Fawn YouTube channel. They really go into really great depth on how to assemble this die cut. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly do it for you guys today. No, they could probably show you in much better detail than I could. For this, I'm using some Lawn Fawn Fog cardstock. I thought it was a great neutral to create my mailbox with. And I've also added some really strong adhesive, double-sided adhesive to adhere it. Now I'm going to take Pumice Stone Distress ink and just kind of edge take that ink and edge it all around that die cut. And what I'm doing this for is to add some color on the edges and create a little bit of shading around my little mailbox. And it won't leave it so plain. So really quick and simple, nothing too special, just kind of adding a little bit of dimension to that die cut. And I also die cut the little flag portion. Now all the die cutting that you see from the cardstock, all the cardstock colors are coming from, except for the fog cardstock, is coming from the Lawn Fawn's Rainbow Pack. They've got a lot of great colors and samples, and I think now, well, I know now, you can buy all of the Lawn Fawn colors individually, but if you've never used their cardstock before, it's a great way to test out their cardstock. So off camera, I used my grassy border die, and to get that stitched edge all the way around that, I went ahead and die cut that using the same stitched rectangle to get that stitching all around, and it kind of makes it all one piece. Now I'm going to take my liquid glue and add this to the grassy die cut, and I'm trying to avoid the top portion of the die cut because I'm going to tuck in the mailbox portion, the little I want to say stick, you know what I mean, the base, the post of the mailbox. And I want to tuck that inside the grassy portion here. So that's why I tried to avoid adding a little bit of glue at the top. So this would make it a little bit easier for me to tuck this in here. So I've got that into place, and I like where that's being placed. So now I'm going to work on getting the mailbox into place. I am going to work on the envelope first. I went ahead and die cut this from one of the patterns from the Perfectly Plaid 6x6. And I chose this one in particular, this pattern in particular, because it had a little bit of the Valentine colors, if you will. since Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So I'm going to take the stamp set. There is an envelope image in this stamp set from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to stamp this down, and it's going to add just a little bit of extra something to this envelope instead of just folding it up as a die cut. You could definitely do that if you wanted to, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just wanted to add something a little bit extra to my little envelope. So on this, they also have some sentiments that really go great inside these envelopes, which is really fun. And so I'm going to take the Happy Mail sentiment, ink that up with my jet black ink here, and then stamp that down the inside. And to adhere this, what I'm going to do is take my Tombow removable adhesive. Now this adhesive won't be permanent. It will just allow, whenever the recipient gets this, that they can also open it, but also close it at the same time, and it won't be permanent. So it's just enough stick to the die cut to where it will keep it adhered just long enough for the recipient to get it. So it's really fun element to just kind of stick this in the mailbox. And now what I'm going to do is to add some glue on the back of it and get this adhere onto my panel. Now on this, whenever I adhered it, I put some extra pressure to the die cut because since it is thick cardstock. Whenever I folded it, it added just a little bit of extra bulk to it. So that's why I added a little bit of extra pressure when I was adhering it to my panel. Now I'm going to stamp my little sentiment down, and it says a little message to say, and I'm using the same black ink. And I thought I would add just a little bit of extra details to the envelope by taking a red Copic marker and then my Wink of Stella, just to add a little bit of shimmer to that heart. And so I like how this is all coming together, really cute and simple, and I think the recipient's going to like it. So to finish up the card, what I'm going to do is take this Pokemon-a-Me and a Hero Arts die, rectangle die, and add this panel to the card base that I have, which is the Fog card base. It's going to be an A2 size card, and it's scored at 5.5 to make that A2 size card. Going to add my liquid glue to the back of this cardstock panel here. Pattern paper, sorry. So I'm going to get that into place and get that where it lined up really nice. And then I'm going to add liquid glue also on the back of my main panel here to get that into place as well. So this card came together really fairly easily. You could do so much more if you wanted to. Obviously there's little birds in the stamp set, but I was just kind of going for a little bit more of a simple design today. So for the inside of the card, I'm using another sentiment, Sending Smiles, and there's this little bitty heart inside the stamp set, and I'm going to take my lobster ink and ink up that little bitty heart. I absolutely adore this little bitty heart. It's so sweet. So I'm going to stamp that in between the Sending Smiles sentiment, and I'm also going to add it to the front of the card at the end of my sentiment at the top. And then I wanted to add a little bit more of the hearts, but I decided just to leave it alone. So that completes our card for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I invite you to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you on my next one. Bye-bye.